Mountain, Sierra, El Diablo. It's the friend of San Francisco. Dun, dun, the San Francisco Bay. It's very beautiful. Golden Gate area. Okay, it's not good on this San Bruno Mountain area. Very nice. But what a place! My little hiking spot. Today's hiking spot. That's a good view. We'll just do that. Yes, I'm psyched. It's funny on the way over here. I was sampling some American culture. Heard they're talking about Gemini. What happened on the Google AI? It's pretty funny how if you typed in, show me an image of the founding fathers of the United States, and they would all look like, you know, this diverse cast of something, but they weren't like the founding fathers. It was weird. So they're like, "What's going on?" But yeah, it was kind of interesting talk today, and I guess Nikki Haley has dropped out of the Republican side, trying to be a candidate for the Republicans. And okay, I thought she was the establishment pick, but maybe she was too obvious about that, and so she became like, not too popular. The Republicans right now, they have this anti-establishment rhetoric, but at the end of the day, it's like, come on, what was his name? Steve Mnuchin? Come on, you're gonna be cleaning out the swamp, and then you bring Goldman Sachs into the cabinet right away. Boom, Steve Mnuchin, Treasury Secretary, Donald Trump. So, and then generals, and when COVID hits, okay, I guess we'll go along with the lockdown. Sure. Warp speed, Operation Warp Speed. So I don't know. A lot of people need to remember that. While Trump has this incredible swagger and hairdo and kind of anti-establishment tone, takes some nice jabs at people. That's true. That's entertaining. But he's a made-for-TV celebrity. That's all he is. He's an okay world leader. I mean, he gets it right at times. Probably the best thing going for him is that he really isn't that in on a lot of things. So he's kind of, hey, let's do this, and he ends up being way right, way better than what the establishment would have done. But unfortunately, he went along with some kind of Roger Stone stuff. I think the man personally, I don't really think Trump is all that much of a racist. I think he's less racist than Joe Biden. I'm just going to put it out there. I've seen Joe Biden exhibit more behavior and support more legislation and do more things that were kind of ultimately racist, in the past. Support for tough on crime legislation that ended up just incarcerating basically a whole generation of black youth. But there's just other things about him that he said in private and so forth. But Trump, he's just kind of a goofy guy, basically. And so he gets it right sometimes, and he says some really incredibly stupid stuff, misogynist stuff at times, and racist stuff at times. And so that's a bummer. That's inflammatory. That becomes a trigger point. When he says something about grab them by the thing and about women, and that was horrible, right? Sounded horrible, and so That's kind of the thing, you can't do that if you're going to be like a presidential type figure. And so, in a way, Trump has this built-in problem. He's a lightning rod for divisiveness and stuff. So maybe it kind of ends up distracting the country. So if you're a conservative person, you might want to think, hey, I'd kind of like to get some goals accomplished. Really trim in some spending, see a little more fiscal conservative action and tone, and less flair and less fireworks, and get more stuff done, more focus, more unity, stuff like that. Some people might say that, they might feel that way, and they might realize that, hey, Trump is kind of fun. It's fun, right, to watch and see what he's going to tweet out next and stuff like that. He's going, whoa, what dictator is he going to be having lunch with next? It's like, it's kind of a roller coaster ride, it's, but, you know, at the end of the day, if he does just alienate such a huge percentage of the American people, and they might not be American people that you particularly like or whatever, but at the same time, they are Americans, they're paying taxes, they're voting, they're doing the thing. So it's like, well, if this just is going to just like have them just all butthurt and triggered the whole time, if this dude becomes the president, then maybe that's not a good thing, because it's going to just be about that the whole time. They're going to be like, oh, okay, now the establishment's launching another attack on Trump, and this time we're really going to get him. Walls are closing in, and they have their little talking point for the day. It's all very exciting. It's like it's a made for TV drama, and we actually need, governance and stuff, so like legislation and, stuff like that, and accepted, facts among the population, like a media environment that's not so partisan. We really desperately need these things. And so Trump, even if, okay, you might be loving his style or whatever, I'm just saying, just at least consider that even though you like his flair or whatever, but he is a very triggering person. I think even his friends would admit that. Seeing Trump out there, whoa, things happen, shit gets sad. He's also emotional and kind of childish, kind of juvenile, so that's what makes it even more exciting, right? It's like, oh no, he gets really like kind of, when he thinks people are being disloyal to him or something, he starts to act like a 13-year-old, whose friend did something behind his back or something. So, you know, it's funny. The funny thing is that all these people just talk about how he's so friendly with Putin, and the two are so opposite, in their style, especially. I mean, their style of rhetoric and is just really, Putin is just like Mr. I am so calm, He is like the adult in the room for sure. I mean, he's old, Mr. KGB, he's got his past, whatever, But actually, he's just very forthright. He does these very long, speeches and just lays out exactly what they do. It's bizarre. And very calm terms. And so he's like no personality, it's not that he doesn't have personality. There's something steely about him. There's something that kind of draws you in. But he's not flair, he doesn't have any flair. He doesn't have that kind of thing. So he's not like a wrestler, like an American TV wrestling audience wouldn't, the wrestler audience would not, they'd be like, okay, well, who's this guy? Wow, he's monotone, let's flip the channel, Um, but he's very interesting what he says, and Trump just takes him like any other world leader. Basically, he doesn't like him or he doesn't not like him. He's just like, hey, there he is. He's a guy doing his thing, Russian, doing the Russian thing, and I'm over here doing the American thing. Whatever. That's no big deal, I mean, he annexed, part of Syria and gave it to Israel when he was the acting president. And so that just goes to show that, I mean, he's totally independent of Putin, that he doesn't care what Putin thinks at the end of the day, because he went ahead and, like I said, annexed part of Syria, which is a huge ally and local kind of proxy war thing for the Russians. And I don't know. So that was just such the blaming, the whole Russiagate thing, and then continued focus on Russia really is a defense state apparatus thing. It wasn't just that Hillary Clinton loved it or anything like that, or Victoria Nuland, or it's not about any one person. It's the whole apparatus. They want to sell weapons, they want to have reasons to sell weapons technologies and to keep themselves relevant, so that once the war on terror kind of flared out, and they ended up being exposed as the ones supporting ISIS and so forth. That narrative was getting a little strange. So then they decided to maybe shift to Russia. I don't know. And then I think just some of the orthodoxy, some of the traditionalism, some of the stalwart hold on certain territories and such as that. They just decided that Putin was kind of not flexible, like, hey, we're just trying to do this little operation over here to get this resource, and you know they were unable to. So there's a regime change push now. Wasn't there before. I don't think the Dick Cheney, Donald Rumsfeld, what was his name, uh, all those guys, the neocons, they were big on PNAC. They had basically drafted it, had meetings about it, and started to implement it. The Project for a New American Century, which was really the regime change kind of came into play, then, they were really into it, and they want to start with Iraq and then go to Afghanistan, you know the story. But Russia, I think for those guys, they were kind of like, Russia, hey man, no, we'll cross that bridge when we get to it, but that's not even realistic. I don't think. I think they felt that way about Iran too. I think they thought that Iran and Russia were kind of off the table. They weren't so focused on them. I think they could get a lot of their objectives done in Yemen and Afghanistan, Kandahar pipeline, or whatever else, opiate trade, who knows. Border with Russia, it's a weird border with Russia. But anyway, this has gone on too long, and I forgot what even the point was. God, it's such a beautiful day out here in the Bay Area, where I have Mount Diablo to look at, and then I also have the beautiful bay itself, with a view all the way out to the Golden Gate Bridge in San Francisco, where I used to live, and Twin Peaks, and it's beautiful. Down where I live now, Lake Merritt, downtown, where I skate down there in all those flatlands, skating around the streets with huge potholes and fast moving cars and weird, anything you can imagine, scooters and craziness. It's fun. Give fun. Someone's got to be the skater dude of peace. All right, y'all. Peace out.